Welcome back to the Midnight Vigil, the channel where the stars are always right, and there really is a monster hiding underneath your bed. It's been a while, but it's good to be back. I figured that I would share my impressions with you about the new survival horror game Lust for Darkness. Uh, I don't really know. I wanted to do a review for this one, but I felt uncomfortable previously when I reviewed Agony when I didn't get to beat it. I felt like that put me in a weird ethical position because, I kind of get annoyed at game journalists when they do the same thing, so I feel like I should hold myself to the same standard. So instead of just doing a review, I just want to tell you about my time with the game. This was a Kickstarted project, which I didn't know when I started playing it because I don't kickstart anything. I'm not really convinced, and sadly this game doesn't really convince me that Kickstarter really seems to work for gaming as a medium. For every really good project, Pillars of Eternity, Divinity, for games like those, Wasteland 2 even, there's an Agony, there's a Mighty Number 9, there's a Ukulele. This game I don't think would be on that list, including those titles, but it's not very good either. But I'll start off by saying the things that I liked. The atmosphere is good. The graphics are good, although I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And the story, in my time with it, I played it for just under 2 hours. It's not a long game. You can beat this in about 2 hours. I got pretty far in. It's fine. It's a Lovecraftian game. So if you wish that we had more Lovecraftian story games, there's something here that you're going to like. The problems, though, became apparent pretty quickly. I had severe technical issues running this game, which is frankly unacceptable. I have a GTX 1070. I have a Ryzen 1600X. I was running this on an SSD. I have a modern build, a very new computer. You can see in the gameplay that I'm showing you the stuttering, the frame rate issues. I initially felt that the game wasn't optimized correctly, and I was only getting, I would get 60 FPS and then it would drop, but there's micro stuttering. If you take a look at the gameplay footage, you can see it. In fact, I frequently stop during my playthrough and I try and tinker with the settings because I'm thinking that it's unoptimized. But the micro stuttering was so bad, I felt nauseous. I got a migraine from playing this game. It made me feel dizzy and disoriented. And with other horror games, maybe that would be a good thing. It's like I like the Human Centipede, where people, like, the whole movie was made to sort of freak you out and gross you out, so you'd have this sort of adverse reaction to it. And that would be interesting if they were going for such a thing, like intentionally with the horror or the story. But in a gaming medium where the player dictates the pace of the story and I have to actually play the game because it's interactive, I just don't think, whatever's going on behind the scenes just isn't working for me. I took a look at the Steam reviews. It's reviewing very positive. I don't have a problem with that. Maybe it's just my machine. Maybe something's going on with my hardware. I don't think that it's likely, but no one else really mentioned serious performance issues other than me. So your mileage will vary here. I mentioned that I like the story for the most part. I mentioned that I really like the atmosphere, the graphics, everything is detailed, everything looks fantastic, the lighting is really good. The problem here for why I didn't really dig it is that the gameplay is repetitive and boring. This is sort of like the Amnesia style of horror games where you go into spooky environments and stuff happens. Occasionally you'll run into enemies, but you can't really do anything. There's no combat. You can't really attack them. It's more about hide and seek. And that, you know, you could do that in Amnesia. You could do that 10 years ago, or close to 10 years ago, and it was interesting, and I felt like that was adding to the narrative. But maybe I've just become so jaded. I've played so many of these Amnesia games, these hide and seek horror simulators. I just, it just feels kind of repetitive. I feel like I've been there and I've done that. What's interesting about the content of the game is I didn't know this when I was playing it. The publisher is Playway Games. Fans of the channel will remember them because we covered their other horror game that came out just a little while ago, Agony. Now, Agony also was sold on the taboo nature of its sexuality. I mean, take a look on your screen right now. This is pretty incredible for content in a horror game. I didn't know that there would be interactive dildos in the game. It's pretty incredible. But Playway Games clearly have this thing for horror games, but it's incredible that Agony and Lust for Darkness would release so close to each other and would seem to almost be going for the same market. Look, you can see the stuttering right now again. And we're about to get to a legitimately scary moment. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear, but when I was playing this, I didn't know that the microphone was on, and it picked up my real my real jump scare. It got me. I should have known that was coming. I knew it was coming, but interacting with the environment in the engine, I guess, engrossed me totally. But yeah, I mean, you're about to see more sexual content. I mean, this game doesn't shy away from horror and sex, and how that intertwines with the Cthulhu mythos. I didn't have a good time playing it. I felt sick. The story is fine, but the gameplay is boring. I mean, your mileage is going to vary. When I played it, I felt like it was a little too expensive for a 2-hour game, what is essentially a 2-hour game. If you want to check this out, I wouldn't have a problem recommending it for a sale, but understand that what you see is what you get. There's more here, in my opinion, than Agony. Agony dragged on, and at least this game made its point and reached the climax pretty quickly, which I appreciated. But Agony didn't know when to stop. So I'll give this game credit. If you pick it up in a sale, I don't think you'll be totally disappointed. It's a short little horror romp. There is some fun to be had. This is the trailer. This is like the trailer cutscene with you know, it's graphic nudity. It's pretty incredible. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to put out a little short video. This is something I had been working on for a while. I had tried to get this game to run. I had tried to get all of this working, but the footage came out weird, and I just could not get this game to run. But your mileage will vary. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have a Twitter, you can follow me at Midnight Vigil. I will be back. My next video, I'm going to be giving my impressions on Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. So if you've been looking forward to that one, stay tuned for my thoughts on it. But thank you so much, and I will see you later.